So luggage didn't arrive. I played the plus 55 soccer tournament in Mexico yesterday. So I'm wearing this shirt. That was the scorer. I was the scorer. We beat Brazil in the classic. So I brought it this summer. Also we are summer, so I work this way in my company. And this is a great honor for me to be here. Thank you to all the organizers. So welcome everyone to the tour of the big history in Argentina. You can follow the slides in www.gabrielgromadzyn.com. I'm Gabriel and I will be your guide today. This tour is sponsored by the University of Jerusalem, 3 de Febrero, and the University of Buenos Aires, my universities. This is an educational attempt to be involved in the big history. This program runs for tourists, and in the foundation I'm president and I run for Kids in Need, El Leoncito Dan, in the memory of my beloved son that passed 10 years ago, and he put me here to be curious in order to develop, even in a slow motion, of the big history. So thank you, Dan. As you know, Argentina is very well known for its gauchos, tango, wines, scientists, writers, soccer, of course. It has a huge territory, varied in climate and landscapes. Far in timeline, these landscapes look absolutely different. I'll drive you to the sites where other actors prepare the scene. Let's unveil these marvelous treasures. We'll visit 3 main sites in a journey to 225 million years ago in less than a week, with optional tours, or in 10 minutes in my exposition. We'll see giant ancestors, Petrified Forest, and our grandparents' first settlers of Patagonia. Let's have in mind the huge difficulties of complexity in terms of creations according to the big history. Let's read. The universe can create complexity with great difficulty. Each stage is magical. It's something utterly new. David Christian. I invite 3 volunteers just in order to do some exercise. Please, don't be afraid. Yes. Okay. Round. Now, take it. You see? Just a second. Just a second. This timeline will take you to 225 million years ago, then to 90 million years ago, and then to almost 10,000 years ago. All of it in a range of less than 1,000 miles distant. This timeline is, you can touch it and you can feel it. Thank you. Big applause to the volunteers. Well, our first stop, welcome to El Sombrero, the hat. Our first stop is where the house of the dinosaur, a huge, called the Patagotitan Mayor. It was found almost complete. So there's no need for speculation. The tooth gave us plenty of information. It was a sauropod, an herbivorous dinosaur with a small head, slow movements, long neck, long tail, 12 meters each. It weighed 80 tons. It's like 14 elephants. Its femur measured like 2.4 meters. Biggest animal ever, 20% larger than anyone found so far. It lived from 100 million years ago till 65 million years ago. Recently was found a print of 165 million years ago, very close to this home of this dinosaur. Different theories claim their extinction: climate change, volcano activity, meteorites. It lived and reproduced in a herd, congregated around their nest, was gregarious, had side fidelity. It died near rivers. The remains, covered by sediments, stayed in the ideal environment to preserve them. Body mass was measured using different methods, from bones and volumetric reconstruction, generating a digital skeleton. They adapted to support the weight and avoid predation. The higher the volume, the lower the risk to be predated by other carnivorous dinosaurs. Had to save energy according to their 80,000 kilos. Today, Vaca Muerta, the dead cow, is one of the main fracking oil and gas fields in the world, 300 miles away from here. The place of the dinosaurs, of course, in Argentina. So, let's sign up for the optional tours. Let's go to see the dino's relatives, the orcas, the whales, the penguins, the sea lions, all of them in Puerto Madryn and Punta Tombo. So, welcome to the second stop, La Leona, the lioness, the Petrified Forest. According to science, Gondwana suffered violent movements from Antarctica pushing the continent. Invertebrates were found in a cold sea prior to today's mountains. Used to be Patagonia Insula, further south, and under extremely low temperature conditions. Dinos landscapes look as an African savanna with trees of 15 meters. At that time, plants and flowers first appeared on the planet. Much more humidity and rainfall. The abundant vegetation allowed lots of food for these herbivores, so they developed giantism. The current dried steppe is explained by science. They reconstructed the density of vegetation that covered Patagonia and how it evolved over a period of 30 million years through the Foliar Coverage Index, FCI, that represents the capacity of the ecosystem to capture solar energy and convert it into organic matter. Now we learn how flora evolved. The changes is also related to the cooling of the ancient sea. We can predict now what can happen to the flora and fauna with the climate change. Undoubtedly, more than 200 million years ago, the planet was absolutely different, not only in climate, but apparently also in location, since Patagonia was much further south than what it is currently, and in addition, it was separated from the continent by a sea. So, after the Petrified Forest, please sign up to visit the Perito Moreno Glacier. You see in first person the climate change. It's a melting glacier, it's a breaking glacier. Please sign up to climb El Chaltén with its beautiful Fitzroy Peak. And let's climb the towers in Chile, Las Torres del Paine. So, welcome to our last stop. This is the Cave of the Hens in Santa Cruz. It's 9,250 years ago. And one question rises. Where did sapiens came from? Was it a long journey from Africa or a shorter one from Antarctica or Australia? Theories support debate. This place is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The highlights of this cave are the complexity of rock art. They show how past societies lived, how hunter-gatherers manifested social practices, the huntings, the guanacos, the choities, the small ostriches, but also ideology was expressed through symbolic creations. Spirals, lines, points, figures, mandalas. These are more related to the divine, to deities. We can touch their imagination, the main fuel that make us unique as a species. So we learn how they live in both levels. The one, the real, the natural, the world of the mountains, the animals, the stars, the rocks, and in the other hand, the imaginary one, that of the beliefs, the dreams, their praise, their salvation. The techniques they used, the design and their composition show patterns of artistic production. They were not painted but stenciled. The authors supported the palm in the ceiling of the wall and covered it with a pen. They used an ancient aerosol from an animal bone as a flute. Most of the 829 left color painted hands are negative of both sexes, adults and small kids. Different colors such as red, ochre, yellow, white, black are extracted from fruits, rocks, plants, animals, blood and animal fat. Animals' hairs were used as brushes. Other techniques, they used stones covered with leather and embedded in paint as seals. They threw them against the walls. Its incredible state of preservation responds to ideal climate conditions. It supposes the signature of the primitive dwellers because everyone wanted to be part of this founding act of belonging to this area. So sign up for optionals to Ushuaia, a great navigation to the end of the world, and why not to Antarctica, that is very close. So, bad news for the dinosaurs, excellent news for our species. They paved the way to our appearance. The Anthropocene Era started on this part of the world. With this sign, we can learn and anticipate how no other species on Earth influenced and manipulated the environment as we did. Homo sapiens arrived to stay forever. Did it? Can we find any relationship between dinosaurs and humans? The biotree of life shows it. Genes are common to dinosaurs, Petrified Forest, and humans. All of them sons of the evolution. Evolution manifests first as big creatures in the form of giant dinosaurs, later as sophisticated and artistic human beings. Dinos and sapiens became kings of their earth in their times. but it took to dinosaurs millions of years to become kings. Our species became boss yesterday morning, almost instantly, thanks to the imagination, the fuel of creativity. In a way, we almost destroyed all the environment. Have we learned anything from that? Can we change things? We face many, many challenges. Conclusion. Stardust, coming from far away, 13.7 billion years ago. And after all these treasures and complexity, studying the universe is one of the ways to understand our Earth. It has millions of treasures waiting to be discovered. These findings in Argentina are separated in time by hundreds of millions of years, but geographically they are so close they are almost neighbors in the same lot. They invite us, our curiosity, to fly into this mystery and wait to be discovered with big, amazing stories. Some clients were back.
Yeah, thank you.
This is real, huh?
Yeah.
Please see the reviews. ¿Vale? Gracias.
Gracias.